Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kristi. We are taking the woo-woo out of manifesting. Today we've got a few things to do. Our manifestation topic is going to be why you do not have to believe before it will manifest. Beliefs are important. Do not neglect your beliefs. However, just because you don't believe something yet does not mean it won't manifest, and I'm going to talk to you about why. We also have nighttime skincare to do, and we need to put some lashes on, and so I'm going to take you with me while we do that. So I already took my shower for the evening. I am winding down. Recommended that you do your lashes after a shower. That way you're not going to risk them getting wet. They shouldn't be getting wet for at least 24 hours, so I always do it at night or in the afternoon after my shower. And the first thing I'm gonna do is prep my lashes before I do any skincare. And this is just a cleanse. It's called Pre-Cleanse by Lashify, and its job is just to get any oils off of your eyelid and eyelashes that may have accumulated. Now my face is clean and has nothing on it, so I'm just doing this to double check. And I also am gonna apply, this is Bamatopros, which is generic Latisse. I'm gonna apply that to my lids so that it can soak in and dry before I apply my lashes. That way I don't have to risk getting my lashes wet afterward. All right, beautiful. So we're gonna let that sit and we're gonna start chatting. Beliefs are one of the most important parts of manifesting, in my opinion, because your set of belief dictates your unconscious behaviors, your unconscious reactions to everything that you see in the world, and also the way that you show up for other people and with other people. That is all heavily determined by your beliefs. So I think that focusing on beliefs while manifesting is like the highest yield energy that you can spend. So if you're gonna spend your mental energy on manifesting, the highest yield thing is working on self-concept and your belief structure. However, if you want to manifest for things or certain outcomes, you do not have to believe that that outcome will happen in order for it to manifest. I'm gonna do an overnight lip stain. This is the Sashu Beauty. The color is number 6 Coral. I have done a couple of these colors. I don't have every color that they make, but I have several. But I haven't really tried this one more than I think once, so we're gonna give it a try and see. Might hate it. Very, very possibly might hate it. Oh my, I feel like this is gonna be really coral. That is quite bright. Let's give it a shot. Oh my. If we make mistakes, we're making them together. Oh dear. The reason that you do not have to believe that it will happen for it to happen has to do with your brain. Favorite parts of the brain called the reticular activating system. Your reticular activating system, if you are not familiar, is a part of your brain that filters all of the sensory information that comes in. Sight, sound, touch, and taste. Smell does not go through the reticular activating system. Your reticular activating system functions as a filter based upon your beliefs and also your conscious thoughts. You cannot see the world through any other perspective than your set of beliefs, because that's how the reticular activating system works. There is an untold number of sensory stimulus out here, and your reticular activating system decides in every moment what is worthy of you being aware of. Hear that. Your reticular activating system decides in every moment what is worthy of your awareness. It will filter out everything else. So if you have stinky belief system about things in life, it's going to filter out anything that conflicts with those beliefs. So if you think money is hard to get, any opportunity where money would be easy for you to get is not going to be filtered through to your conscious mind from the reticular activating system, because your belief tells it that that's not true. So it's going to continue to try to prove your beliefs right. But the other side of the reticular activating system, which is really cool, is that if you start thinking about a topic, your reticular activation system thinks it's important, and therefore it will start filtering, which will allow you to see more of that thing. It's why when you go shopping for a car, you start to see that car everywhere. Your brain thinks it's important, so it begins to put in the filter of whatever this car is, and you start to see that car literally everywhere you go. It was always there, but your reticular activating system said that's not important, so we're not gonna allow the brain to see it. It's like that with literally everything. So the reason that repetition is so important, she's nice and dry. I think I'm gonna wait still before I peel her off. The reason that repetition is so important is because repetition is what tells your brain that it's important. The law of assumption basically states that if you assume something, you will have it. You will be it. it will manifest into your reality. The reason for that is because your reticular activating system will allow you to see it. It's like it takes the curtain off of your reality so that you can see the thing, the opportunity, the offer, whatever you need in order to make that thing a reality for you. You will start to see those opportunities. All right, let's peel. It looks so scary, but it actually turned out pretty nice. Parts of it didn't peel super well, so I'm just wetting it. I don't know if I love it looking in the viewfinder because the color in my mirror and the color in the viewfinder are quite different. In the viewfinder, it looks almost orange. In the mirror, to me, it's a lot more subtle. We'll see. Probably a good portion of that will disappear by the morning. Let me get a little bit of CeraVe Healing Ointment on here. I don't really care for this for a lip thing. I really like it on the skin, but it's what I have right here, so I'm gonna use it. I can't tell you how many times I have manifested something that I didn't necessarily, like I had not manifested a belief yet, or like I had not solidified a belief yet and the thing manifested. Like there's so many. This is my Curology. This is my nighttime actives. So there's tretinoin 0.01%, azelaic acid 2%, and niacinamide 4% in this. This is gonna be the last, I think this is the last bottle I have of this. They have just informed me that this combination is no longer being made, and they are changing up my formula to have different ingredients. So we will see. And they are increasing my tretinoin percentage from 0.01 to 0.015. So just a tiny little bump in the amount of tretinoin that I'm getting. But I love that for me because tretinoin is such a good skincare ingredient. And I've been using it for so many years that my skin is very well used to it, which is why I put it under my eyes and I put it in my nose. Like I put it everywhere because my skin is so used to it at this point. And then next I'm going in with my CosRx Snail Mucin Advanced Snail 96 Mucin Power Essence. I'm obsessed with this. I use this twice a day, every day, ever since I learned about it. When did I learn about this? Like 2 or 3 years ago? Something like that. And I'm generous with it. I like 4 pumps to get my face and neck and the back of my hands. So I'll tell you several things that I've been able to manifest that have been pretty cool that I was not convinced they would happen, but I just wanted them. Now, I think that this works well for me because I have worked on a belief that I always get what I want, and the world is better for me having what I want. It helps me and everyone else when I get the things I want. It doesn't take away from anyone and it doesn't make anybody's life worse. So I think that that helps, having that underlying belief that I am constantly reaffirming. But the Taylor Swift tickets that were literally handed to me, I wanted to go see the Eras tour, but I didn't believe that that was going to happen, and yet it did. So that's one. When I did a whole vlog on this, but how I manifested going to Yale, I wanted to go to Yale. I manifested that before I knew about the law of assumption, but I was aware of manifesting and kind of chose to just like put it out into the universe, so to speak. But I didn't believe that I was going to get into Yale. I affirmed for what I wanted in my own way, because again, I didn't know about the law of assumption at the time, and you are always manifesting and you do not have to do anything special to manifest because you've always been doing it. And I got into Yale. I did not believe in advance that I would get into Yale. I think one of my underlying beliefs was that I'm really good at working hard if hard work needs to be done, and I'm a capable person, and somebody's got to apply, right? People have to apply for people to get accepted. Why not me? And Yale is something that I had previously thought was like completely out of my reach. We're gonna go in next with the Josie Maran Argan Milk Microdroplet Serum. I'm neutral on this product. It feels good, but like, I don't think that there's literally any reason to repurchase this. And that makes me sad. I wanted to be wowed by it, and I do like it, but like, that's expensive, and I am using the viewfinder as a mirror. What are some other things that I have manifested that I didn't believe were going to happen? Oh, every time I just did a video about getting the job and winning the auditions. I'm a musician, I'm a PA also. I was a musician professionally long before I ever became a PA. And now I do it professionally as like a side gig. And I have not lost an audition or a job interview in probably a decade. Specifically the job interviews since 2021, but the auditions I haven't lost in probably like a decade or more. I can't think of a time when I've auditioned for something in any sort of recent memory that I lost, but I don't always believe that I'm gonna get these things. I don't always believe that I'm gonna get the job. I don't always believe that I'm gonna get the gig. I have strong underlying beliefs that are supportive. Like I talked about in that video, that whatever pool of applicants, I'm going to come out on top. Like I don't have to perform at my very best in order to still be the best choice. This is the Josie Maran Whipped Argan Oil Face Butter. I don't know where this focuses. Does it focus up here? Oh, okay. So yeah, I've been doing that wrong the whole time, but let's focus. Come on. There she is. Focus. Okay. This I do like. This I would consider repurchasing. It's not my favorite moisturizing cream that I've ever used, but I do like it. So favorable underlying beliefs that you can have related to getting merit-based things are that whoever's in the room with you, you're always going to shine the brightest. Skincare is complete. So now I'm gonna wash my hands and we're gonna do lashes. Tip video for applying lashes where you should curl your lashes first. It never occurred to me to do that, so I'm gonna try that today. I have the Shu Uemura. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. Shu Uemura eyelash curler. I got this because an old school YouTuber, I think it was Emily Fawn. Do you remember who I'm talking about? She highly recommended it and I needed an eyelash curler and I was like, okay, sounds good. This junker I think was expensive if I remember right, but it does seem to work well. There is not a chance that you will be able to see that, but I have done it. My lashes are very blonde at the tips. They're like sort of blonde towards the roots, but they're like translucent at the tips. Okay. So we'll see if this makes a difference. We prepped our lashes with the pre-cleanse. Now we need to put some stickum on the lashes. And I understand how it might get confusing in the manifesting community. Like everybody talks about how important belief is, and it is. It's extremely important. And if you have stinky beliefs, it doesn't necessarily matter how much you think positively about a thing. If you have stinky beliefs that you don't get things that you want, then that's all that your reticular activating system will allow you to see. So it's really important that you recognize just how influential your beliefs are on your day and on what kind of experience you get to have in the world. But do not think that the things you want to experience in your life have to happen after you believe that they will happen. I did not believe that I was going to get my car heater fixed without having to take it to the dealership. You can go and check out a vlog where I gave myself that as a manifesting challenge. I vlogged all of that. It came, like the idea came to me while I was in the car and I was on my way to my friend's house to make Christmas cookies and it was cold and I didn't have heat in my car and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna manifest this and I'm gonna tell y'all on camera when I do it. And I did not believe that any of the men that I was dating were going to do it for me. I did not believe that there was a way for me to get it fixed without taking it to the dealership. I certainly didn't believe that it was going to be free of cost to me, but it was. I had been without heat for probably 2 months at that point in my car. And it's quite cold here. And especially because I've lost weight. Like when you lose weight, it's like you chill to your bones. Like you cannot warm up. So that was another thing that I manifested that I didn't believe was going to happen, but I kept repeating it to myself. Anytime the thought of my car heater came to mind, I affirmed how grateful I was that it was taken care of and that I didn't have to take it to the dealership. And that's all I did. And my reticular activating system allowed me to see the opportunities for that to happen. And one of the men that I'm dating, Boo Bear, offered to do it for me and did it for free. So you don't have to believe. You do not have to believe. It is important to foster good underlying beliefs though. I will never shut up about how important your underlying belief system is in order to manifest and experience the life that you want. It is invaluable. You cannot put enough emphasis on it, but don't think that all of those things that you are saying, all of your affirmations, don't think that they have to ingrain themselves deeply as beliefs in order for them to happen. Because I mean, how many times have you surprised yourself like, oh my God, I never thought that would happen and it did? It's because you have a good set of underlying beliefs related to that thing, or neutral even. If you have neutral beliefs related to that thing, then your brain is not going to shut it down when the opportunities come, because it's not going to be fighting against a shitty belief system. So there's not going to be anything within your brain giving it resistance. So today's lashes, I don't know if I've done these lashes with you or not. I don't love them. A while back, I got a bunch of different styles. I use Lashify lashes. I really, really like Lashify lashes. I think the packaging is cute. I think the lashes are great. I always get at least a week, sometimes 2, frequently 10 days. So always a week, sometimes frequently 10 days, and then sometimes every once in a while they'll last 2 weeks. I don't know any other lash systems, but I think your prep and application matters from what I've seen of other lash systems just being showcased on the internet. But anyhow, so I'm gonna use these ones here. These are the model Fluffy, and so this is the 16 millimeter. I don't know if you can see it, but they are very dramatic, very curly, very fluffy. And I don't love them, but I need to use them since I spent my monies on them. I don't hate them, but I'm not obsessed with this particular style of lashes. But I'm thinking we're gonna do a different kind of lash map than I normally do. Because normally I like to make it bigger all the way out to create sort of a winged effect. I'm gonna try something different today. I think I'm gonna like go big and then a little bit less to try and lift my eye and see if I like that approach. And I think I'm gonna use shorter ones to be, because they're already quite dramatic. I think I'm gonna use shorter ones so they're not quite as dramatic. So that was all of my 10s. That's the end of my 10s. Oh no, I think I have an odd number of 12s. Did I lose one at some point? I may have. Oh no, well that actually puts a crimp in my whole thing, because I was gonna go 10, 10, 12, 14, 12, but I don't have enough 12s to do that. What if I do 10, 12, 14, 16, 14? 10, 12, 14, 16, 14. I think that's what we're gonna have to do. Okay, I have enough 14s to do it, and then I have plenty of 16s. I have so many 16s, but that's the end of the 14s. I'm gonna rip my little lash map off of my thingy here. I have it all on like a silicone pad so it'll stick. But this is the lash map, so 10, 12, 14, 16, 14. So let's see, I may hate it, but if I hate it, it's only there for a week. And I have all I have left is the 16s. Like I have a whole boatload of 16s left, but everything else I'm running pretty low. All right, put a little adhesive on the spine of the lashes and let it dry. Now, depending on what kind of beliefs you have about something while this is drying, you may find that certain things that you want may not manifest until the belief becomes dominant. And really all that has to do with is how are your underlying beliefs about that topic. If you have very strong underlying beliefs that are opposing what you want, your reticular activating system is going to filter according to your beliefs, and you will not see the opportunities for that thing. So what do you do in that case? You persist, because your brain has to respond to your input. So if you continue to affirm that the outcome that you want is yours, your brain does not function any other way except to make that happen for you. Manifesting is not spiritual. Manifesting is the natural function of your brain. And that, in my opinion, is a huge relief, because the law of attraction community makes manifesting so complicated with the stupid get in the vibration, you have to match the frequency and the vibration. Ugh, so annoying. Because when you repeat something over and over, it will start to dig tracks into your brain. Really, you're building neural pathways, but you can kind of think of it like if you have a dirt road and you drive the same way on the dirt road, the tracks are going to get deeper and deeper where the wheels are in your vehicle. It's the same thing that happens in your brain. You have to persist for that reason. It will start to show up. Your reticular activating system will change your filter. It has to happen. There's no other option. That is the only option, because manifesting, again, is not a spiritual thing. It is literally the natural function of your brain. A nice thing I feel like with lashes, with lash clusters, is like, even if you don't crush the application, if your application is like, mediocre, it's still gonna look fine. I don't know if that's true for everyone, but we got one on there. One thing that you can do to help your brain out regarding this is just think back on all of the times when you successfully got something that you wanted that you didn't believe you would get. Like, You've had times in your life where that's the case. Hands down you have. And all your brain needs and your brain really loves is some sort of proof or evidence. And sometimes you have no evidence to give it and you just have to persist through that. But in a lot of cases, you can give your brain a lot of evidence that what you want has happened for you in the past. Oh, so let's update on the Princess Treatment Diaries. I'll show you something. I was having kind of a bad day on Tuesday, just feeling kind of down, and I was supposed to have a date with Boo Bear, and I just ended up canceling it because I just needed to take the time for myself, and he was understanding and sweet about that. And he sent me a text probably like 9:30, and he was like, hey, I just dropped something off at your apartment with concierge. Just wanted to basically surprise you with something that is sweet and supportive. So I'll show you what he dropped off. Just because I was having a bad day, I didn't ask for it. I didn't hint in any way that I wanted anything. He asked me earlier that day if there was anything that he could do to be supportive, and I told him that was very sweet, but I didn't ask for anything. He took it upon himself to drop these off, which I thought was fantastic and wonderful. Princess Treatment Diaries are princess treatmenting. Why does 14 and 16 always look the exact same length? Well, maybe I guess they don't. And then I haven't updated on Pookie in a while. Pookie's going through it in his personal life. A lot of my earlier vlogs talked about Pookie because part of the reason that I started making vlogs was related to dealing with a breakup using the law of assumption. Pookie and I dated for about 6 months. Around the 3-month mark, he said that he wanted like a more serious relationship with me. I thought about it for a couple of weeks, and then I said, yeah, I'm up for that. I think I'd really like that. And then his investment started going down. I've talked to you about how I approach that from a manifesting standpoint, from a law of assumption standpoint. I'm not going to get into all that here, but to bring you totally up to date, I want to be his friend. And so we are working on how can we be friends? Because we started out as friends and I really value his friendship. He's a very good man, but he's really going through it right now. And I'm not saying that I manifested that, but I do have a belief that if you fumble me or hurt me in any way, which he did, I was hurt by that situation because he's the one that approached me about a more serious relationship. And then when I said yes, he started sabotaging the relationship. Again, for how I approach that from a mindset and a belief and a interpretation of all of that 3D events. I'm not going to get into that here, but I have sorted all of that out with you on other vlogs. So we are kind of working on how to be friends. And I love that for us, but he's going through it right now. So he asked if I wanted to hang out for the Super Bowl, and I think that would be really nice. So I have a gig. I'm in the Washington Commanders marching band, and a subset of that band is called Command Band. Command Band has been asked to play for the Washington Commanders Super Bowl party at the stadium. They're doing like a club member level thing. Fancy people with lots of money come and watch the Super Bowl at the stadium. And so they're gonna have us play, and I'm excited about it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And then after that, I'm gonna meet up with Pookie and watch the Super Bowl with him and see. We've only hung out one time since we broke up and decided to be friends. And we've talked a lot. We've got good communication going on, and we've actually FaceTimed several times, which isn't really something that I do, but I like FaceTiming with him. Again, we had a good friendship the whole time. Like, this was a friend of mine. That's 3. I remember why I didn't like these is because they're so curly. They touch my brow bone, and I don't love that feeling. That's okay though. That is all right. Because again, this is like the last of them, and they'll only be on for a week. It's so interesting, like how different my eyes are from left to right, like in terms of size and then the shape of them too. Because I feel like if I put lashes on one side the same way as the other side, then it doesn't look as good. Like I have to adjust how I do them for each eye. Like my eyes are cousins and not sisters or something. I don't know, maybe they're growing on me. I love dramatic lashes though. I don't know, maybe they're growing on me. Maybe I'll get used to the way that it feels touching my brow bone. They're comfortable on the eyes themselves, like the eyelids. They're Like, they don't bother me, they don't crunch or anything like that. But and also, Pookie's being quite flirty. I know that he's still interested in me, and the reason that we didn't work out is not because we aren't good together. I am not fussing with trying to manifest him back, but I am open to it, and he's being quite flirty, so we'll see what happens at the Super Bowl. I'm not tied to any particular outcome with that other than just a self-concept that, like, if a man fumbles me and hurts me, he goes on to regret it forever and he never gets over me. So that's just a self-concept that I like. It's a little bit dark, but you know, that's how I like it. These are so dramatic. Oh my gosh, just looking in the viewfinder. Hoo-wee. And again, the only outcome that I'm tied to with any man is the one where I know that my dream marriage is mine. And then, like, that's the end of the movie, point blank period. And I'm just not really tied to any outcomes in the meantime because I don't know when I'm at the end of the movie versus in the middle of the movie. And so I don't like to start sticking my nose where it doesn't belong and get into business that isn't mine, which is the hows and the whens and all of that. My business related to manifesting is strictly thinking thoughts that are supportive of having the end result that I want and trusting that everything I see out here in my reality is actually working out perfectly for me to have it. All right, that is the lash set. Now we need to fuse them. Put the little condoms on the wand here and press tight for about 30 seconds. So what is your experience with this? Have you thought erroneously that you needed to believe that your manifestation would happen before it could actually come true, before it could actually physically materialize? That is a reasonable expectation, and like, you're not necessarily wrong for that. Your belief system has a lot to do with what you actually will physically manifest, but it's not required that you believe specifically that whatever you're manifesting will come in. You just have to continue to think thoughts that are supportive of having it. Your reticular activating system will determine that that is important, and then it will adjust your filter to be able to see the opportunities that will lead you right into the hands of the thing. That is what inspired action is. It is your reticular activating system showing you the opportunities and you behaving in ways that are in line with having it based on those opportunities. None of this is spiritual. None of this is mysterious. None of this is magical woo-woo nonsense. It is simply just conscious manipulation of how your brain naturally functions. I wish I could just like scream it from the rooftops and everybody would immediately understand, like, oh, all of the questions that I have about manifesting can be answered by that one understanding. You're always manifesting. You've been manifesting forever, but that's not because it's spiritual. That's because you have a brain. That's it. You got a brain, so therefore you are manifesting. That is the look. Now we need to waterproof it. I'm using the waterproof sealer. And I actually like wash my eyelids and let the water run over my lashes in the shower, and I still get a week's wear out of them. So I feel like I must be doing something right in my application process because I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm getting good results. Like, I was seeing some people complain about lashes like only lasting for a few hours or like 2 to 3 days. And even at the beginning when I really had no idea what I was doing, that never happened with Lashify. I do have a code, a 20% off coupon for Lashify in the description if you've been wanting to try them out. If you want to know what some of my favorite styles of lashes are, I'm happy to do a video on that, obviously with a manifesting focus, but we can talk through lashes also if you wanted to. And if you have any questions about anything related to manifesting, law of assumption, Neville Goddard, drop it in the comments and I will do a video discussing it with you. We'll have a date with Boo Bear on Saturday, and I do have a friend date. We'll see what happens on Sunday at the Super Bowl, and so I will update you on how all of those things go. If you got benefit from this video, and I know you did, please interact, comment, share, like, subscribe, whatever you think is most valuable to you, so that YouTube can push it out into the algorithm so that more people can learn that we need to take the woo-woo out of manifesting. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.